I just realized my microphone wasn't turned on. I'm going to start this cast over then. I keep on forgetting to double check my microphone. Alright, let's start over. My apologies for those who may be in the lobby, but having a microphone on is important. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Small on the south side as the Purple Lightning Stir. We got Dragon Scale. Small on the north side is the Acid Rain Andy. We got King Ghidorah. I'm pretty sure King Ghidorah is the three-headed dragon with no arms from Godzilla, if not mistaken. Either way, let's get started. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport, 2 comm towers, and high funds. There's also some seaports over here, which you can deploy out some battleships for a bit of bombardment. Artillery deployed in a few. Sturm, of course, has perfect movement, as well as less firepower, more defense, which means recons can be very nice for him since he's able to blitz across the land. Another recon anti-air. Sturm also can be used for other wielded units, such as rockets, able to push forward relatively quickly. Help perhaps lock down, say, this chokish point there. This map also appears to be a lab map. I think they just went for labs on the HQs just so it provides zero income in a high income situation. I don't see any secondary labs, so effectively lab is an HQ that provides no income and 1 less defense stars. So let's get a shot there on the infantry unit there. Anti-air is out of range. It does put itself on top of a spot, so it can protect these infantry units while able potentially to chase down the battlecopter whichever way it raffles to. Got some hits there, another battlecopter there, so double battlecopter, anti-air is in range, and 3rd battlecopter. Rocket has been pulling the field, we got the rockets. We do have a bomber now pulling field, artillery, tank, and infantry. Does get a bit of damage on that recon. Does not take it out. The extra defense did come in handy. Interrupts that capture twice. Don't seem to be anything in range to hit the tank. The anti-air should not actually be in range either. Oops. Right now, Sturm does a 38,000 income versus 34,000 income. A nice little advantage. This C4 bar to be obtained. Artillery, tank, and tank. Does take out the infantry in there. Battlecruiser falls back. Bomber pushes forward out of range of the anti-air, but we do have a fighter eyeing for a bit of a sortie. Does take out the recon. And Andy's going to start eyeing to capture this column tower. He actually captured one. Sturm has not captured this one. And does have T-copter somewhat nearby, and it's on top of shore, so it could be loaded up and dropped off next turn. That's like what's going to happen. Tanks are blitzing their way down south, and they are out of range of the rockets. Anti-air, tank, and battlecopter. Decent number captures, so Sturm to the 42,000 versus 48,000 versus 36. Quite a bit of income disparity now. Fighter, tank, and infantry. Eyeing for a bit of air supremacy, a bit of dog fighting. Andy, of course, can heal himself up, which does complement quite well versus Sturm's lower attack, which means it's easier for Andy to pull back and get a hyper upgrade or a hyper repair. Hyper repair can be useful in this matchup either way. And if Sturm meteors a hit, hyper upgrade is going to be pretty useful. Tank, anti-air, battlecopter, and battlecopter. Capture the comm towers, so soon Andy will have 2 comm towers. Well, Sturm has not even touched this one yet. Both of these comm towers could be start capturing up this turn. Bomber takes out the tank, hits the battlecopter, hits the other tank. Of course, we reduce firepower with no comm towers, so it's really starting to hurt. And the artillery is actually hitting this comm tower with 5 damage on. The infantry unit cannot capture the comm tower as long as that artillery is there. And hitting the artillery there with the battlecopter will not help him out because the rocket's also in range. So the comm tower is actually being denied by Sturm. Very nice. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and wait, aircraft carrier. The aircraft carrier just needs to go. Wait, I can drag the entire map. Huh, I did not know you could do this. Did not know you could do this. If the aircraft carrier gets on top of the reef there, it will zone out this airport. So Andy has only one more turn to deploy something out there. Maybe a bomber would be a good idea. And now I'm thinking about it, Grid also just able to range this no problem. Max will be able to range of going 2 tiles forward. So Sturm's going to try to deny the airport. He could potentially send a T-copter here, then try to capture it. But like I said, Andy has one more turn to deploy something out there. He can go for bomber. Stealth could be a possibility as well. Battlecopter, artillery, anti-air, tank, and nothing from the airport. So next turn, the airport will be locked down. Huh, that's artillery's down to 14 fuels. It's been very active. Does capture comm tower before taking out the battlecopter with the aircraft carrier, so he has another turn he can utilize that airport. Now the rocket's going to wipe out the infantry. He should start trying to get a T-copter up there. Suppose a lander could be, or a black boat could be a possibility if he gets the aircraft carrier off of it, and then with a black boat there. Battlecopter, anti-air, infantry, and neo tank, and with another battlecopter. speaking about black boats, Andy did go for black boat last turn. Infantry, anti-air, infantry. It feels like he bought... Oh, another aircraft carrier. That's where his monies went. Lucy's doing the same thing, so Storm has only one more turn to pull out something. Fighters actually already locked down the airport. And the infantry unit goes down. Black boat there. That is what he's going to try to do. Infantry units on top of the comm tower. Nothing to threaten. Battlecopter's actually threatening it. Storm may need to go for some sort of artillery to help protect this. He has to protect this beach right there. A rocket here should be range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a rocket here on that shore will be able to reach the other shore. But then again, if he drops the infantry unit onto the mountaintop, he will be out of range. Goes for another fighter, missile tank, infantry. Missile knows at or knows where it's not. And hits that infantry unit there. Aircraft carrier pushing forward. Fighter could take a shot there. Artillery, infantry. Looks like a bit of a stalemate starting up here. Wait, double aircraft carrier. There's a good chance Stern's meteors will strike here. Indirect meteors will definitely strike one of these aircraft carriers. But value-wise, it will also likely strike the aircraft carrier, so this is definitely meteor bait. Storm right now has 2 comm towers, so he's effectively at 0% firepower bonuses or negatives. If he captures the 3rd comm tower, he will be equal to Andy, which means perfect movement with plus 20% defense. Can be quite good, to say the least. Andy has more power charge stored on up right now, so which means he's a little bit worse off. 35,000 versus 46. Additionally, right now, Storm has a pretty good economic advantage. So Storm's in a good position right now. The T-copter goes down. Got a battleship there, so Andy's getting a nice fleet of ships. That's a meteor attack target. Only thing that could do be likely not throw right there, because value-wise, it's striking there. Indirect-wise, it's striking there. Only thing more I can do is HP, but even then, HP will likely strike around here-ish. Hard to say, though. Going for the airport. Actually, I think that's a good idea. Because with the airport fully captured, then again, the aircraft carrier is already locking down that airport. Could have gone for the comm tower. Drops off the other infantry unit there. Rockets, bombers. Looks like the no man's land's being established. Mega tank, neo tank infantry. Takes out battlecopter there with the aircraft carrier. I guess the range is long enough that you just forget how far it actually reaches. Short answer, very far. Andy could go for hyper upgrade for the +1 movement range as well as +7% firepower. But that's probably not enough to crack through Storm's defense, particularly with the extra defense. Neo tanks are definitely going to allow Storm to edge his way forward, not to mention the rockets. Another mega tank, artillery, infantry, and bomber. What's the unit building on this map? Give me one moment. 65. Nice round 65. So both players about 10 units, less than 10 units remaining. So mega tanks and neo tanks both be a good idea. Neo Tank's probably a bit better, just able because of increased range. Mega Tank's of course offers a massive amount of bulk. We've got multiple Mega Tanks not being pulled up by Andy. Wherever Stern's meteor is going to strike, it's going to strike hard. Andy can't be pulling his hyper upgrade as long as Stern's meteor's lurking around. Though could possibly able to pop it out and then get another charge before Stern's meteor. But if Andy uses that aggressively, he's definitely going to have Stern's definitely going to have enough for a power charge. You can also always pop the Meteor Strike 1, which does 4 damage rather than 8 damage, if I remember correctly. Which could be just enough, though Hyper Upgrade will still counter out, so maybe better just go for the full Meteor Strike 2. HP-wise, definitely going to strike there. Indirect and value will still likely strike this aircraft carrier directly. Now it's going to strike this one. Hard to say. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter. Stern could also pop his Meteor mid-turn. Maybe start threatening the HQ and start causing issues like that. This could be a turn for Storm's Meteor, just need 2,500. Where Storm's Meteor going to land? Strong likelihood's going to strike right here. I would say 66% chance it's going to strike right here. The other 33% chance could strike anywhere in this formation. I'm guessing on this top is artillery. He's going to try I think he manipulated those strikes to go down there. Is that what he wants? That would actually allow him just to crush this flank now, because his naval backbone's gone, but of course hyper upgrade, I don't know. That seems like he manipulated by placing units here, but let's find out how well it goes. I have no idea what will be the best course of action. Does strike the missile. Tank does strike the battleship, doing less than 10% damage. Of course, aircraft carrier, so there's no aircraft down there. It's not a massive threat, so... Oh, ends turn with 622,000 value in the field. And he starts turn just a little less than 400,000. He's going to attack first, then or use hyper upgrade first. There's arguments for either, because of course hyper upgrade will give you, well, repairs. Pops now goes up to 466. Mega Tank does pick up the tank. Hitting a lot of various targets. Does pick up the bomber. Both players have 2 column towers at the moment. Enter for 503,000. Sturm's 557. So Sturm has a clear advantage. Has 60,000 income versus 44. In fact, he just needs to capture 6 properties and he just wins. Does pick up the tank there. Hits the battlecopter. He's going to get a lot of power charge turn, and Andy's going to get none. Strikes the battleship and the aircraft carrier. He could possibly strike Meteor Strike 2. If he pops Meteor Strike 2, it could hit this formation. I think if it gets enough power charge, go for Meteor Strike 2. Or Meteor Strike 1. Fighter the strike fighter. There's Meteor Strike 1, I say go for it. The opponent will not be able to repair the Meteor Strike 1. Pops it, And it strikes the ships again. It hits, looks like it hit the battleship directly, hits the mega tank, over here probably would have been a bit better for him. Bomber, mega tank, tank, battlecopter, infantry. I guess he was at max of population because that is, what spend is that? What is this? Get CPU at 9,500 funds per property? Yeah, I was one of those kids when growing up. Does hit the fighter there, pops another superpower to recover health. So it went from 334 to 451, so he was able to recover the health from that Mirror Strike one. Because both front lines are smashing each other, and there is so much destruction. Does strike the bomber on the airport for a good amount of damage. Takes out the bomber there as well. So it takes out all those bombers. Or effectively, a good chunk of them at least. Ends with 159 versus 426, so Andy made a pretty good turnaround. Even captured a property. But here comes a nice counter attack. You can pop another Meteor Strike 1, which may be a good idea, because Meteor Strike 1, once again, 2/3 chance of strike over here, but maybe dissuaded by because his own bombers in range. Nope, got an anti-air mega tank. Wait, I was looking away for a moment and there's already Meteor Strike 2 again. Once again, 2/3 chance to land over here, though I think it's nearly guaranteed with the amount of units clustered together. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Going from 140, 451 to... Maybe he's trying to manipulate down there. Maybe he's going to not deploy it out to prevent his opponent from pulling out a hyper upgrade, I don't know. Looks like holds on to his superpower, preventing Andy from deploying out his. Never mind. That's questionable. With after repairs up to 426. Luckily the Mega Tanks get +1 movement range. We think those strike the Neo Tank. And he's making some great progress. That's definitely Meteor Bait. Goes into the battleship there. I think all three will land somewhere in this vicinity now. The pile of infantry here could draw it as well. Ends turn with 467 versus 377. Goes to 300,000. It did strike, it hit the battleship, so that's either indirect or value. I could not tell you which one is at that moment. It may be both. So technically indirect is a form of value. It just weighs the indirects as double. Does take out that mega tank. There is a fighter in range. Goes for a fighter there. T-copter, Neo Tank, infantry. Does a good shot on that bomber. Probably good not to have the battleship on top of the seaport and let just hyper upgrade repair it. Got double battleship here by Sturm. And both sides just spamming out mega tanks. Even other high funds games I usually cast, there's still not this many mega tanks. Battlecopter rocket. Another battlecopter and tank. Does get a good strike on that rocket. We can just pull back, let the superpower handle it. Goes for battlecopter over here. 3 health anti-aircraft carrier is in range. But I think he's trying to displace infantry unit. I think he's trying to go for this comm tower of this T-copter. That battlecopter did take a bit of damage. T-copter is going to have to go through a bit of a shooting gallery. Due to the lower firepower, that infantry unit does take only a little bit of damage. Mega tank, artillery, and rocket. Sturm could start eyeing for HQ capture relatively soon, but it feels like Andy has a better composition over here with the amount of mega tanks he has. Though I could be mistaken. Medium tank, battlecopter, tank, and tank. This game seems to still can go either way. Let's drop the infantry unit there. Try and go for that capture. There's HQ capture starting. Has to do a bit of joint capture there. Taking out the ammo of the mega tank allows the neo tank gets a good shot on in, though it didn't fully drain it there. Oh, and Andy does resign there. I feel like it still could have gone either way, but maybe he just feels like he's the one who loses comm tower and decided to surrender a little bit earlier. Either way, this Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Give me more than just the screen. That should be good. So let's go and get started. Greetings everyone, Angrade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn north side as a pink Cosmos Drake, we got Mawus. Spawn south side as a blue moon Kindoga F Tiger. Let's go ahead and get started. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport, 2 comm towers, 1 seaport, which primarily just to refuel the lander. There's a good number of properties in this map, so high site is probably a bit more in play than other maps. Or when it comes to Kindle. More recon, so we got double recon so far by Kindle. A third recon by Kindle. Drake has gone for a tank. Another tank by Drake. Interrupts the capture. Huh. Drake's at 1,100 less. Super question. What did he add a bit of repairs on that? I'm just going a little bit crazy, but he's at 100 less. Don't remember him getting any repairs done. Wait, no, that's just the value of the units. I am no, that's the funds in his bank. I think my mind's just melted. Worry about it later. Does go for another tank. Kindle so far has 0 tanks on the field. Well, Drake has gotten for 4. Usually you go for a tank by now, but she does have battlecopter at least. Drake's battlecopters have a lot less firepower, making them a lot less useful. Battlecopter and triple infantry. Kindle could put the anti-air on top of the compound to keep an eye on the airport so it doesn't even be deployed there. Artillery did get deployed in the field. Does get a shot on the infantry unit there. It hits this one as well. Getting a decent number of hits on these infantry units there. Has currently 2 recons live. Make that 1 recon live, which is right here. Tracks infantry in open ground. Does not take it out there. May have rolled some bad luck. Kindle has captured 1 comm tower so far. Drake has 0, nor anything on top of this comm tower in general. Does take out that captured infantry unit there. Infantry, battlecopter, tank, and another infantry unit there. Takes the battlecopter. Kindle now has an urban blight, which could be useful, but I think people are a little bit too aggressive or willy-nilly when it comes to throwing out the urban blight. I think you should always eye out for some other attacks. Fun playing Drake on this map. You can refuel the lander at the port easier as a result of the +1 movement. So his passive +1 movement is actually being useful. I usually even count tiles with the lander and his bonus there because it rarely ever comes into play. So Sammy also gets +1 movement range for Orlando since she gets +1 movement in all transports. Or is it just transport copters? My mind's fried. Let's get some shots here. Got medium tank infantry and infantry. Did save the urban blight. Like I said, it's generally a good idea to save it and wait for at least a couple engagements to boost off of, rather than just trying to spam it out. Does lose a good amount of infantry units. Bit of resupply there. Infantry, artillery. Battlecopter is going to go to strike there. Oh, there's Urban Blight, which does strike this infantry unit there. Does strike this tank here. Hits the missile, so it's down to 1% health. I actually did get quite a bit of blight there. I was not mentioned this tank, so decent damaging blight. Also interrupts the capture of the comm tower. For global damage, it seems like this time it was a bit better than most other urban blights you usually see. Usually just, as usually the opponents does a good job just keeping minimal units atop the structures. In this case, it was a bit more painful. Try and flip some properties. Hit this tank. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Do now have a Typhoon available. Get some various strikes, or not? Yeah, did I say Typhoon or did I say Tsunami? Either way, superpower activated, doing a nice bit of global damage. Kindle does now have 3 medium tanks on the field. 2 of them will be repaired. Lander will need to fall back to a seaport relatively soon. Down to 15 fuel. Hits the 5 health missile. Actually got a decent shot onto the battlecopter. Right now, this tank and anti-air in pretty good bait position right now. Artillery is located inside the woods. So, popping Urban Blight and attacking this is probably a bad idea. Missile advance does spot the missile. Picks up the missile. Does pop Urban Blight, which will of course strike this tank here among other units in the back line. Like this anti-air, it does manage to strike the anti-air down there. Both players have not captured the comm towers in the corner. Not even made a threat for it, attempt for it. Usually by now, players usually captured it. Anti-air tank infantry. And we'll strike the medium tank with the artillery. Great positioning. Anti-air does strike the mech horse on top of a mountainside. It doesn't go that well. Infantry, anti-air, or not anti-air, recon, and tank. Medium tank will strike the artillery for a good amount of damage. It's the other artillery as well added. Tank puts another round there. Lost the coin flip there. Lost another coin flip. Mech does take out the anti-air. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and another infantry. This medium tank will be struck by another artillery piece, and this tank could finish it off. Maybe even the anti-air. Artillery gets another good strike there, so dual artillery is still being very useful. Artillery, battlecopter, and pair of infantry. Artillery could be used against the anti-air now. Guess we'll find out soon enough. 1 health medium tank. This time wins the coin flip. Medium tank will strike the regular tank, but will be in range of the 6 health artillery piece. That 3 health tank should have struck it, but the 8 health medium tank will. Does go for Urban Blight, which will strike a tank. Couple tanks, including this one. I can't remember how much the health it had, but not a great amount. It's definitely down to 1% now. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, recon. It's 118. Drake starts sort of 105. Cannon right now has 24,000 income. Drake has 20,000. Artillery, infantry. Starting to catch the comm tower now. Does take out that pipe seam. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, and tank. Mech, infantry, battlecopter, and anti-air. Does make some good hits up here, takes out a good number of those assets, gets a boost strike on the artillery. Got another battlecopter, anti-air, infantry, and infantry. Almost enough for Typhoon. Does get a Typhoon on the field. Calling Kindle's numbers down 113 versus 116. Mech does take out the anti-air one shot. Tank, infantry, recon. Pops an Urban Blight there, which won't be a great one, looks like. Yeah, booster strike. Tank, and infantry. And some various picks. Yep, Kindle basically lost her right flank so far. Takes about a full turn of economic advantage head, 121 versus Kindle's 88 plus her 21,000 bank. Recon, infantry, and medium tank. It looks like this mech is in range of the recon now, just needs a bit of vision range. Does hit the recon twice, hits the infantry, and now hits the recon thrice. Neo tank, infantry. Hits the infantry unit in the center. Recon, and battlecopter. Looks like she really wants to reconnoiter the area. And it's 121 versus 134. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Couple good strikes in that tank, knocking it out. Infantry, anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Oh, looks like the black boat sunk. This infantry unit there takes out the anti-air. Problem is now the Neo tank is now spotted, and we'll get the first strike on the medium tank when it really needs to be the opposite. Got a bomber, infantry, and infantry. Lander fell back to the seaport. Neotank get a good strike there and will not be adjacent to this property here. Another Neotank now pulled on the field. Does pop an Urban Blight, which will of course strike a Neotank in the back line. That's good damage on that tank. Hits the infantry unit there. Hits the recon. And do have another Typhoon. Takes out some outlying units that were at 1% health. Recon, and infantry. So keeping 11,000 in the bank. And has a very good bank of, or very good leaded units. Not to mention the unit counts up about 10 above as well. Does get some good shots there. Takes off all those outlying units there, leaving Kindle pretty much nothing up here. Neotank anti-air and infantry. Neotank will take out that regular tank, hits the infantry unit there. Tank, and tank. Hits the battlecopter twice. Tank will hit the infantry unit there twice, and hits the infantry unit also twice. Hits the bomber once. And you think we'll get a first strike in the medium tank. Doesn't look good for Kindle. Those medium tanks are effectively the only thing she has to fight against the Neo tank. I mentioned the HQ is now being captured now. The medium tank and battlecopter may be able to take out the starter tank, but then the medium tank here will be out of range. Oh, just outright resigns. Zan, great seeing, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started on the next replay, I'm going to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I am back. Let's see. If we can do this one. There we go. Let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Small on the south side as the Norclipse Lash. We got Lovey. Small on the north side as the regular black hole Olaf. We got Hudge. This map is a 3-base map, one airport, a large number of missile silo platforms, and a lot of properties. So Lash will be able to use her, has a lot of capabilities for her defense, stars provides firepower bonuses. But also there's enough force nearby where her terrain tactics is a bit more useful, but not exactly great. Prime tactics will be quite nice from the amount of 3-star defense platforms here. Olaf is always quite useful. Howdy! We do have the first tank put up by Lash. Olaf is on the tank as well. Another tank there. With 9,000 income, Lash started pulling out tank every turn. Recon charges way forward to get a good shot here. Does not interrupt to capture the comm tower. One comm tower per person seems pretty securable. Not if you lose it, you probably already lost the game. Artillery could be useful to take on the pipe seam. Infantry, and infantry with another battlecopter. Tank, infantry, and recon. Does not spot this tank there. Does get a shot off there. Of course, who could receive first strike, but there's a lot of 3 defense stars. Anti-air, infantry. Oh, so far it's gone for no battlecopter just yet. Battlecopter, triple infantry. Get some good shots there. Battlecopter gets a good shot on the infantry unit as well. Tank, and infantry. Olaf only has one tank this region to engage this tank. Battlecopter could be held in reserve. This tank could also come over here as well. Granted, Olaf doesn't see those 2 tanks, just hit some infantry units. Hits the infantry unit there. Anti-air over here, pushing its way forward. Battlecopter's more towards the center though. Tank, her recon, and anti-air. I think Drake generally does quite well in most matchups. Kindle is one of those COs that it all depends on how well you fight against and with her, how well you pay attention to where all the properties are and how to avoid being adjacent onto them or even just on top of them. Let's get a good shot there, trying to flip a property. You have a medium tank infantry, so Lash has gone from medium tank and pushing quite aggressively on this flank. This flank, however, is a little bit sparse. Does have a tank and recon for defense. Is that infantry unit twice. Tank and double infantry, another battlecopter. Anti-air, maybe in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If this tank or infantry unit gets removed, then this anti-air can strike the battlecopter. And taking this infantry unit could be feasible. Infantry unit here, infantry or tank here, infantry unit there, and we'll be able to take it out, and then anti-air can go to the battlecopter. Or there's another or strike the tank twice. Maybe she rolled a low luck there. Gets a great shot there. Either way, takes the tank and the infantry out. Always, of course, the live stream can always view it a little bit later. Comm tower now being flipped. Do a flip! Whenever I hear make this say the word flip, I just think of Bender saying, "Do a flip!" Let's get some good shots there. We do have a blizzard available. Terrain tactics also is available. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and infantry. Get some good shots there. Tank hits tank, anti-air hits battlecopter. Terrain tactics. That's interesting. That allows medium tank to get perfect movement engaged, but then again, I think it just took. Also could have taken another path there. Does spot the artillery. Does strike the artillery. Of course, we do have a blizzard next turn. Anti-air, tank, and tank. Ends the turn of 120,000. Olaf has 63,000 at the moment, and 120 turns into 94. His anti-air gets trapped. Granted, it's just an infantry unit that gets trapped. And of course, with the snow, Lash might have a bit of trouble moving around. Bit of a merge there. It's the infantry unit. Tank, infantry, and infantry. Lash still has about 4 turns of value advantage. New tank strikes the regular infantry unit there. Tank could be struck by the artillery. Medium tank could be struck by the artillery now. This tank artillery is on force. She does not see it. Battlecopter, recon. Infantry. So this, oh wait, the artillery is out of vision range. Of course, does have 3 defense stars, but it should be easy to spot enough. Did he not notice that there was a medium tank there? Probably would have been better to strike the medium tank with the artillery. Maybe a bit of a lapse in judgment, I can't really say. It attacked him last turn, so he knows it's there. Tank in artillery. Anti-air gets a good shot on the battlecopter. Neo tank strikes infantry unit there. Now he has vision that medium tank is. It is still on 3 defense stars. Bomber. Infantry, and infantry. We do have an A anti-air over here, which could be used to strike this battlecopter. Lash has enough for another terrain tactics. Bomber may get a good first strike onto that anti-air, but it's on top of 3 defense star platform. So may want to be selfing up, say, by this regular tank before the bomber nukes it. Lash is a little bit low on value. Took a lot of free hits there on that medium tank. Tank strikes tank, tank strikes tank. Oh, Neo tank hits the anti-air, and infantry unit does gun it down a little bit. Actually, still not spotted, looks like. Battlecopter, anti-air, infantry. Let's try to think of what you're responding to. For me, it's do a barrel roll. What were you trying to respond to? Infantry, and tank. I think you're a little bit behind. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to reply to. My mind's not exactly 100% right now. Battlecopter spots the artillery and the Neo tank nukes it. Prime tactics. Does get trapped there. Infantry, artillery, anti-air, and T-copter. I know do a barrel roll is, of course, Peppy the Hare from StarCraft 64 primarily. Now got another superpower there. Neo tank is slowly being whittled down. Of course, the bomber was struck a little bit there. Anti-air is right here, possibly in range of the Neo tank if it gets a bit of path open in front of it. Battlecopter is a bit slow going, so we'll have trouble hitting the other battlecopter. The 8 health infantry needs to be knocked out first. Looks like everything's just starting to fall back. Infantry, infantry, and infantry with another battlecopter. Oh, does delete the black boat to get a shot on the tank. Recon, artillery, infantry. Oh, I see it now. It came in at 5:04 local time for me. I think there's been some issues lately where YouTube is a bit lagged out, where the delay is quite significant. It's usually pretty responsive. Yep, you can see the timestamps of where it comes in on my oh crap, I hit a button. I hit the button of copyright by Intelligent Systems. But you can see the timestamp of when the messages actually comes in, so let me know what's the difference for you. Tank, anti-air, and recon. Tank, and infantry. Quite a bit of units here, however, there's still a couple battlecopters, a Neo tank, a bomber, a regular tank. The Lash still has a very good amount of assets here. Right now, Olaf's at 144 versus 152. The Lash now has more than a day's income advantage. Plus, it's her turn. Does get some good shots there. Does strike the artillery in the back line. The anti-air will perhaps get a good shot on the bomber next turn. Both players have one comm tower. Lash does also have 24 properties. Anti-air, and infantry. Bomber gets knocked out. Both players getting pretty close to their superpower, but Lash likely deploys her out first. Battlecopter, infantry, anti-air, and infantry. Get some good hits there. Comm tower and C trying to be flipped. Does scout the artillery. Medium tank is a good strike on that regular tank. Both the medium tank and Neo tank are still alive in this region. There is now that Neo tank is in range of a artillery piece, but we'll have double defense stars, but we'll be knocked down to 7 health. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. I have no idea how much damage this artillery will do to the Neo tank. Guess we'll find out soon enough. 3 points of damage, that's still quite reasonable. Oh, let's look at the Neo tank with hitting it thrice. And it looks like Lash may be running low on anti-air in this region to hit the battlecopters. We do have one anti-air in range. Infantry, or tank, infantry, and another battlecopter. Lash may need to go a bit more heavy in the anti-airs right now. Infantry, 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 and battlecopter. And turn of 127 versus 108. Does get some good damage there. Pipe steam does get destroyed. Medium tank, infantry, recon. Starting to go for HQ capture. Likely will be interrupted though. But she's making multiple capture attempts. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 12 progress. So let's just call that 4.5 capture attempts right now this next turn. She's already at 4,000 income advantage, so capturing just a handful of these properties would be quite detrimental, particularly the comm tower. A lot of interrupts needed, which also could lure Olaf into some traps. It may be a turn to pop a blizzard just to slow down his opponent's advance, but then again, I think terrain tactics can help counter that because it gives everything perfect movement. Interrupts 2 captures, so these 2 captures will still commence, including a comm tower. Nope, that one does get interrupted. So 1 flip will happen. And turn off a whole bunch of 1s and 0s. Anti-air get a good strike, takes out one of the battlecopters. Tank hits tank. Another battlecopter goes down, hits another tank. It's all good. It's like a 5-6 minute delay. Multiple turns pass before my message gets to you. Got it. I suppose you could try hitting the live button, which could be... I can't say if it's something on your end. I don't think something on... It's definitely not something on my end. I can see I got 0 frame upload drops. So it's probably either something on your end or on YouTube's end at this point. Olaf activates superpower. Lash is at 99900, while he's at 61,000, so not doing great there. But Lash will be slow moving this turn. But does have 25 properties versus 19. 4 capture progress remaining, so this one will be another flip. Oh, there's 2 cities that will actually despicably neutral. Didn't realize that till now. And looks like Olaf has resigned. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. I have time for one last replay for tonight. Let's see, let me just delete this one. Edge for Slovy. Let's see now. I already did Drake and Andy today. Not necessarily this matchup. Let's try to find Ada versus Sammy. Let's do this one since we haven't done either of these COs. A long map. Big map. That seems good. Let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the north side as the Orange Star Adder, we got Sir Lagalot, 89. So on the south side as a Blue Moon Sammy, we've got Blonkers. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport, 2 seaport, which there's a lot of shores, so it's technically 3 seaports, but still not likely a whole lot of ship movement. There's also a similar map in Days of Ruin's Tiny Wars as well, where it's similar, not very different though, but very similar. Both players do start off recon on this other airport, so there's a second airport you can always capture. We'll need to displace that recon with probably a battlecopter. Battleships can also work. Should you go for a battleship? No. I'm just saying you can. There's also a decent amount of mountains here. Yeah, it looks like the mountain pass here, here, and here means you have to use landers to move the ground units to the front line. I don't see any path for vehicles to get out of the island here. Sammy's saving up her money. He's trying to just go for more infantry unit at the moment. Blah, cannot speak. Ad, of course, has gone for a tank, while Sammy has gone for a recon to reconnoiter the area. Sammy's now gone for a tank. Sammy could run this infantry unit. Recon does good strike there. Does capture the comm tower down there. Does spot this infantry unit. And the tank is starting to push way forward. Going for the comm tower here. I wonder when people ever watch this video, then again, your message also covered up by my tails, but still, I wonder if anybody would wonder, what went on last match? That was gonna go strike there. Another pair of tanks. Here, a lot of captures going. Does take out the recon. Looks like it was knocked out by a artillery, with a nice bit of spotting from the lander. So now this airport can be obtained. Sam's, of course, captured up this comm tower here. Adder's, of course, captured this back one here. Sam will capture this back one here next turn. He has a good shot on the recon. I'm trying to keep an eye, and attacks before comm tower. Attacks before comm tower. Does capture comm tower now. Realizes his mistake a little bit too late. Lander's starting to run low on fuel. There's a seaport back here for resupply. Infantry, and battlecopter. There's quite a bit of properties on this map. 36 is the capture victory limit. Sammy could go for a property capture of a pretty nice, well-timed victory march. And I would recommend Adder to place something on top of HQ eventually, just so to deny the, oh, Sammy's infantry unit pops out of nowhere and capture the HQ in one turn problem. Double task that infantry unit over here denies the capture. Same to the 25,000 goes for a bomber, Sammy bomber. He only has minus 10% firepower, which is not too terrible. Like Jess, Sammy's aircraft is still perfectly fine, and not to mention since she has 2 comm towers, they are above average or above normal. Adder's now popped out his power, so +1 movement across the entire field. Recon spots, interrupts capture the comm tower, very nice. Which that would be Sammy's third. Oh wait, no, that's not interrupt. I forgot. This is Sammy, and that would be Sammy's third comm tower. Sammy having 3 comm towers is very dangerous. I think he did pop the power to do the interrupt, but it's Sammy. It's hard to interrupt her. You have to put her health down to what? 3 health? Then it's, I guess, rounded up or down. I just can't remember at the moment. Either way, you're needing a lot more damage than 4. Bombers advancing. Landers down to 20 fuel. Stealth. Bomber and stealth. It's probably better just to go for a second bomber, since fighters are likely to be deployed on out the counter of the bomber. and will also be a counter to stealth. Out of curiosity, what is allowed on this map? Black bombs, of course, banned, but everything else is available, so you can always go for some pipe runners. But still, semi-stealth is probably just better just go for regular bomber, honestly, like I said. If the first aircraft was a stealth and then she goes to another stealth, that would be another matter. She also will need to get out APC to get that stealth resupply, and she has to go for it sooner rather than later. After all, you have to load it into a vehicle or a lander to get to the front line. You don't have to stealth this turn. Don't have to stealth the stealth this turn because of its high fuel consumption. Because right now it's at 54 fuel. I'm pretty sure it'll go down to 49 next turn. Gets even more fuel consumption. Battlecopter, triple infantry, no APC. Get some good strikes here on this tank. Get some good shot there on the battlecopter, but that battlecopter did defend itself. Battlecopter, and triple infantry. Yep, went down to 49 fuel. Now, oh, did not stealth again. That turn I probably would have said stealth. We have now tank infantry. Needs a black boat or a lander, but either way, we do have a side slip. Battlecopter's pushing forward, get some shots over here. Though, if there's no anti-airs nearby, the stealth does not have to be stealthed. Bomber's still not spotted yet, so we'll get a good first strike. A number of battlecopters over here, so maybe the stealth should head over here for anti-air duties. Both these landers are back at harbor because low on fuel. Both have 12 fuel. It's that infantry unit. Tank interrupts capture. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Bomber takes out tank. Do now have a victory march available. Interrupts the capture. Does camouflage there. Right now it's at 33 fuel. Does go for black bolt, so it will have resupply that way. Its arms has to reach up very high. Picks off some infantry units there. Picking off every infantry unit is important when fighting against Sammy. Looks like a couple projects still despicably neutral, such as this one. There's another neutral one somewhere, because they both have even numbers captured. Ah, it's actually the airport down here. Fighters been pulled in the field to counter the bomber. The stealth went from 33 fuel down to 25, so it does consume 8 fuel per turn. A lot. And will strike a battlecopter, knocking out one shot. How much damage does a fighter stealth does to a battlecopter? Granted, she does have 3 comm towers. With 3 comm towers, actually reliably one shots. Let's say if she had 2. Need a high luck roll. Of course, she didn't have her own minus 10%. 2 comm towers will be liable for other COs. A lot of picks there. Goes for a power once again. Victory March is still primed. Could probably take a black boat or T-copter and start going around the flank to drop off a infantry unit over here. And there's actually a possibility where a black boat would somehow get right here, drop off the unit there, and has plenty of cover to go right there. Oh, we got a bomber here by Adder now. Does save the comm tower. This one has 8 capture progress remaining. Another... Oh! The plus 10% for defense from the power activation saved the battlecopter. Another bomber, double infantry, and another mech. I think this going for stealth is a bad call. I think it's too slow. Oh, it's doing some work now. She feels like she's starting to lose some ground. She has less properties captured than her opponent. Couple units got hit there. Fighter strikes the stealth, giving another for a side slip. And next turn, this comm tower will be captured, and this one as well, of course. Battlecopter strike, battlecopter. Battlecopter will take out that unit there. We do now have the victory march available. Right now, she's at 25 properties. Let's see what she does. Gets trapped. Takes out the infantry unit there. One flip. Recon gets a shot there. Good shot there. Neo tank takes out artillery. Another capture there. Black boat needs to resupply that bomber. Now I've got a fighter here. Resupplies, drops off 2 infantry units. Infantry, recon, infantry. Looks like the fighter is spotted by the battlecopter, and the stealth does get shot down. That was pop a side slip. Nukes the Neo tank. And Sammy Dill still has all three comm towers. This one has 10 capture progress remaining. And does get joint captures, is down to 9. Fighter triple infantry. Get some damage on various units. Tank does strike tank. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Bomber still heading up north. Recon infantry drops on off. Takes out the pipe scene. Fighter takes out the battlecopter. Of course, the moving range is fighter, I believe. Yep. But she does go for a wingman for this fighter. Side slips activated. Get some good shots. Both players at 26 properties at the moment. And now both players have 2 comm towers. Does get a bit traps there. Got bomber, infantry, recon, infantry. What if the fighter will go hit the 2 battlecopter, or will this fighter strike from here and then hit there? We'll need to scout out that woods first. Double time. We do have a double time. Fighter does not take out the fighter. Mech is a good shot on the infantry unit there. Interrupts the capture. Nukes the anti-air. Does not take it out though. Anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Right now, side slips up to 36,000. Double times at 37. Sammy has not pulled out one 2 power, now 1 power. Hits the bomber up north. Another fighter, recon, infantry. Interrupts the capture even further on that comm tower. Does get trapped there a little bit. Takes off all the battle copters, leaving infantry in this area, so recon's all she needs. And eventually she could use a recon too, just to reconnoiter the area. If you're heading up north, battlecopter, infantry, mech, infantry, and battlecopter. Answer 158 versus 164, 28 versus 24, so Sam's losing the capture department, and just lost more properties down now. 31 versus 21, this is getting pretty massive. It's supposed to be Sammy's wheelhouse and capturing, but that's simply not the case so far this game. Battlecopter infantry recon. Does strike the medium tank twice. Get some various infantry units there. Spots the bomber. The anti can strike that bomber. Does get trapped there once again. Battlecopter infantry. Battlecopter infantry infantry. This is Sammy just eyeing for full battlecopters. Good around the bomber. Infantry, and Neo tank. 3 health fighter takes out 1 health fighter. Full health fighter on full health fighter. We do have now another victory march available. She needs that. She really needs to catch a lot of project. 32,000 versus 20,000. That is getting critical. Not to mention, Adder just needs to capture 4 more properties and he wins the game. And there is a couple properties nearby where he's at right now. That is very feasible for him to get a capture victory at the current rate. Another side slip. No side winders this game. And looks like Adder's winning the air supremacy fight. He's even just parking infantry units on top of the cities. Means Sam's going to run straight into them with her victory march. There's a good strike there. Mech gets a good strike on the recon. And let's just go ahead and resigns there. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As I mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight, so